because we care.
Happy Valentine's Day, you sons of bitches. Hi, I'm Jason Oliveira, and this is The Road to 40, my nightly vlog where you never know what's going to happen. A little plastic chicken might just jump up on the mic, call himself, Dr. Carl Mitchin. You never know. So, I've had a very long day. I deeply regret not being able to do a Friday the 13th episode. Being as to my born name is Jason Voorhees. Well, Jason Oliveira, but close enough. You get it. Always been. Jason is... Alright, you know how you have favorites. Favorite soda. For example, today I had A&W root beer. That's probably my favorite soda. I've got Facebook up here. I'm asking some questions out there. I want some opinions. Now, I've talked briefly with some of you about cameras and so on and so forth. Not in great detail, but I'd been eyeballing the GoPro, the one that films in 4K, the Hero 4 Black Edition. Originally, I was going to go with the silver because I like the little screen on the back. However, I don't really need the screen. I really just kind of need to set it up to do a wide angle to get... I mean, I guess I could get, a wide angle lens for this, but I'd rather get a DSLR. What I really would like to do is get a DSLR that films in 4K. The cheapest one out there is... Oh, it's in the other room. It's the Panasonic Lumix, I think. It's about $700. But that would get me 4K quality. However, I'm going to need some more hard drives if I do that because... well, not necessarily. This show is a nightly show that we've been doing for almost a year. 2 weeks from today, it comes to a close, though, my friends. So it's been a pleasure serving you. Right now, I'm biting. I'm trying to figure out what I want to do. Like, obviously, ruin porn is coming. Where, for briefly, because now I know my friend Nick is moving out of the country to go to Germany. So he had this idea, him and his friend. So I'm hoping him and his friend and I get along really well. Because I love the idea of going out, and I've had some new ideas about this show. I thought it would be fun if 2 or 3 people are willing to be in front of camera and talking, to do... One person tells the true story of why this place became abandoned, if you can find out. The second person tells a complete fabrication, and that would probably be it, but you could do a third person with a second story. I thought that might be kind of fun to add a little depth to the show, because we're going to be going into these places that are abandoned. There's probably not going to be much left of history. Like, any paperwork's completely destroyed if the roofs have caved in or whatever like that. But there's still so much more of a story to tell there, beyond when the people left beyond. So I think that's going to be a fun one. I'm imagining that's going to be a monthly thing, maybe bi-weekly, maybe weekly, but probably not. That's a lot of work, and that's big production, though. I mean, I want the show quality. When you guys see it, I want it to be something spectacular and phenomenal, not like something you've seen so far. I want it to be something... I feel like I'm becoming a filmmaker, or that's what I would love to do. I'm not going to even open that can of worms, though. I've wanted to be a graphic designer. I've wanted to be a comic book illustrator. I've wanted to be a singer. I've wanted to be a guitarist. I wanted to be a songwriter. I wanted to be an author. I'd take any of them. You would think of a person like me with enough skill, just enough in each one to maybe, especially books, shit gets published left and right. Now, my stuff might be shit. It might be great to someone else. I've talked to the people who have bought my book. Really liked it. They said the writing needs a little bit of work, but they thought the story was fantastic, and that's really what I wanted to get across as a story. So if you like the story, then great. Anywho, we'll be doing that. We'll be doing Top Shelf, Bottom Barrel. Top Shelf, Bottom Barrel, I need to form a new business. I really need to do that first before I purchase anything or go too far, because I need to be able to write shit off. Like, I might even get to be able to write off, like, paying myself to do filming on location or directing or whatever I'm doing for that episode, or just, acting, generally acting or whatever. So all this is coming next month, or yeah, probably next month. March is the month that I would like to, middle of March, start those 2 shows. I will continue with a nightly vlog of some sort. Not nightly. Let me take that back right now. when I have something to say, I'll be on here. And certainly, like I said, the week after the birthday, we'll probably have a lot of interesting things. If anybody ends up staying here, I'll probably end up doing one of these with them, even though it's a post show. But I don't know. I don't know what's going on, but I know there's something going on behind my back. I want to tell you about my day. That's why I really came on here tonight. I know we haven't just talked about what I did today in a long time. Like, I'll mention something if something strikes me. But today was an interesting day. Last night, I'd been waiting and waiting all week to find out when we had to be at the rehearsal for the Randolph College. This is a big deal, apparently. They only do it once every 4 years, where the opening act after people are filing in, they're going to be doing an act, will be the first act that everyone is seated and ready to see. And I think we sounded damn good today. I wish our drummer could be there, because I think it would blow the fucking roof off of that place. I think we'd really grab some new ears. You know what I mean? They'd be like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Matt and I are of an old school way of performing, I think. Like, he gets up on stage and he moves, and I move. Not because it's intentional, because the music... The music moves you. And I can't explain it any other way unless you've been at a nightclub where all of a sudden you hear a song that's just like, yeah, that's my jam. Is that what the kids are saying? That's my jam? I don't know. What do I know? I know nothing, Jon Snow. Well, I forgot an email last night saying it was this morning at 9. Now, I was so excited that maybe I didn't have to be there tomorrow. So last night I sent out an email. I said, would you guys hate me if I couldn't be there tomorrow morning? I said, I have to work all day, and I won't be able to spend a lot of time with Carol until after work or early in the morning. So I said, it'll be really quick. We'll be in and out of there. So I said, you know what? It's the right thing to do. Carol agreed it was the right thing to do. So I get there first. I'm there at about 8:40. I want to be there early because I know we're going to have to load in. I know we're going to have to, set up a little bit. Not a lot. I brought my tiny little amp, my pedal, and that was it. So I needed a guitar, a strap, 2 chords, a power strip, and they had the microphones and everything set up, which were grounded really well. I am a person, I'm going to get a little loud on you here. Now, this is a pop filter. It's supposed to block out the and the b, but it won't if I get really loud. Anywho, when I sing, my mouth has to be in contact with the microphone. I pivot off of that. It's like I become a puppet off of that. Why? Because if I don't, I'm going to break a tooth. And I've hit myself in the mouth with a microphone so many times on stage, but I've always felt like a performer, and I don't care if that makes me sound geeky and nerdy or stupid. I've always felt like I want to perform to the best of my ability when I'm in front of a crowd, and I want them to remember. I want them to remember that song, and I want them to remember the band for at least a week. If it fades from their memory after that and it comes back every now and again, I'm cool with that. But that's how I feel a musician or a performer should be. Musicians don't necessarily perform that way, but I see nothing wrong with that. I just really enjoy it. So I'm here early. Vic finally shows up. We got to go up this huge hill. It's not even that big of a hill. I'm just so out of shape that I see the hill and I'm like, fuck, he's gonna discover how out of shape I am right now. I'm embarrassed that I'm that far out of shape that I go up 2 flights of stairs and I'm like, Jesus, let me take a break. Hang on. So Amanda, oh, I almost said it. One of the things that I really hate the most. I hate saying man up. That's a terrible, terrible thing to say. If you say it, break the habit. I think personally, I just think it's terrible. But I made it up there without killing myself. Then we get into the auditorium. We leave our stuff. We find out they're serving breakfast downstairs. Now I haven't eaten yet. Well, no, I had a piece of pizza. I think a 2-piece of pizza, little piece of pizza. And so I'm like, I could really go for some food right now. So we go downstairs. Well, first thing we notice is they're also serving alcohol. This isn't even 9 o'clock in the morning yet. And they're making mimosas. And of course I had one. And Vic made it. And it was pretty strong, and I had almost finished it. He's like, you want to go get another one? I'm like, God damn it, it's not even 9 o'clock. and I've already had one drink. Now, that never, ever, ever happens, except for sometimes on Sunday mornings we'll all pass around the Fireball, and we usually have, like, I'll have a hard cider or something. I don't like beer. Wow, let's rewind a little bit. Hang on a second. So we finally get up there and get everything set up. I'm loosening up, and by this point, there's probably about 50 people maybe in the auditorium, and we get up on the stage, like, not to even do anything. I didn't realize that since the time we'd been downstairs. By the way, that second drink, there was nobody around. There was just bottles of alcohol open, and I was just like, shit, we could really go to town here. We could make an event of this today. But we were good. So we got back upstairs. Then they were going to skip us. They were just going to say, okay, then the significant other is going to come up, and they're going to do a song or two, and then we'll move on to the next act. Well, we're like, first of all, I'm like, fuck you, no. I came here to play this morning. If I'm not playing, somebody's getting punched. So we set up. I tune up, finish my drink, get a microphone in front of me. Then the world becomes mine. At that moment, if I'm allowed to talk to a large group of people that I can barely see through the lights, there's just something about that. I have no fear whatsoever. I don't mind talking. Like, it's really important. Like, and I try to make eye contact through, like, especially if the lights are in my eyes, I still try to, like, make eye contact with people, because when you make that connection with a person, I think they hear your music a little bit more or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, you make a personal connection. You tell a joke or something like that. And I feel like the minute I get a good group of laughs going, I'm like, all right, I have you in the palm of my hand. I know you that well. And I'm not saying like it's like an evil, sinister thing or a superpower. I'm just saying, like, I'm so confident at that moment, and I love feeling confident. Like, that's the hard thing too when I apply for jobs that, like, I don't think I'm good enough for. However, like, there's probably 9 people that would look or hear what I do at that job and say, yes, you could do that job. You could easily do this job. You do it better than other people I've seen do it. You know what I mean? I'm sure there's a lot of people that say that. But I have to have the confidence. And until I became a performer, I think I lack that confidence as an individual. So in cases where I'm talking, like, I have, like, hosted, like Mysticon last year. I did the one of the panels in the morning. I think it was early in the morning, but that's the first time I'd ever hosted a panel. Now, there wasn't that many people in the room, maybe 25 or so, 30. And so, like, to be that person, I've always loved being that person. I like being the center of attention. I'm sorry if that's a bad thing. There's nothing wrong. All right. So, today is also Valentine's Day. I hope you all had a super duper awesome, wonderful Valentine's Day with the people you love. Family, friends, pets, whatever. Doesn't matter. I did, but I had to work 6 hours today. I know. You're thinking, how do you do it, Jay? How do you make it through a 6-hour day without just breaking down? I mean, all right, I'll ease up a little bit. What I'm saying is that a lot of my day was spent working with a lot of friends, a lot of people I really enjoy hanging out with. There's one thing I cherish, and I've told you this tradition before. Every other Saturday, I go to Taco Bell for lunch. It's the only thing that I know I'm going to do. Like, there are other things that I'm pretty OCD about, and I mean that in an honest way, not like using that terminology as like, oh, I'm just so OCD. Sometimes I just really make an ass of myself. Oh, here you are. I wasn't going to go there because I only had technically a half-hour lunch today, which I did manage to make it back in time. But I had to go all the way to Taco Bell. I wanted to try the triple steak melt, whatever the fuck it's called. Okay, first of all, it is about 2/3 the size I thought it was going to be, which is fine. It's fine. I don't need a ton of food. I'm trying to cut back. Actually, I've been really good. In 2 days, I've been very good, except for at night. But, hey, I'm making baby steps. So, I ordered it. I get it back to the table. First of all, I ordered the combo because I was like, I might as well get the extra taco. I'll probably still eat it. If not, I'll bring it home or whatever. So, I get the cup. I look at the receipt. Nope, it's drink and that. There's not much to that. It's like, probably like a thin, long burrito. I'd say it's probably about that size. You know, you could really cut that into some interesting footage, couldn't you? Knock it off. Okay, so I get it. First of all, it's slimy as fuck. The whole thing just is. If you know me, you know I don't like coming in contact with a lot of food. Any food that's going to be sticky or wet on my hands, like I can break up an Oreo and eat it. I don't know. That's a weird thing. I know I don't do it on here because I don't want to look like a freak of nature, but I usually will break up an Oreo and eat it. I just prefer it that way. I've told you about this. I do it on here sometimes. I do. So, it's greasy. Now, the grease, mind you, is pouring all over the plate. So you got all the cheese and the meat grease. I know this is sexy, isn't it? This is how you wanted to end your Valentine's Day today. Is all on the paper wrapper, because that's how I eat. I leave the wrapper open. I try to make as little mess as possible for the people who are going to have to clean the tray after me. Unless they piss me off. Then there's ketchup everywhere. I would never do that. I mean it. So, I'm like, all right, first of all, like little to no meat in this thing. I mean, if you're talking triple meat, sometimes I order a double meat steak sub at Sheetz. I know, such a image of pure health. And I put jalapeno ranch and buffalo sauce on it with diced yellow onions. I know it's a shitload of food. It's disgusting. All the bread, all the cheese, all the meat for that matter. I don't need all that meat. Anywho, this was not double meat. This is like a third meat, a quarter meat. It was teeny. There was like no. I'm like, a lot of cheese in here, not a lot of steak. And their steak is god awful. It's so bad. It's just not edible by humans. By the way, did you hear about this new? I can't remember the name of it. The new planet they found. It's almost like a clone of Earth. It's like in proximity to their nearest sun, and the atmosphere and stuff like that. And NASA's been bringing theologians and scientists together this week. I think they're about to announce something big. I would like to believe that. Is that really going to happen? Probably not. Anywho, I ate it, and I was still very hungry, but the root beer was so good. And it wasn't A&W. I do prefer A&W. It was Mug. The only problem with getting Mug at Taco Bell is the fountain. It's so good out of the fountain. Soda out of the fountain is so much better than can, bottle, anything else. Oh, there's just something about Fauda soda.
Did you bring all my shoes and my glasses so I'll have them?
Jerky Boys. Look them up if you've never heard of them. Listen to a few of their phone calls. Can't do it anymore because you'd get, obviously. I wonder if you could do a Skype thing though. That might be a new show idea. Copywritten. Prank. Skype. Show. That's a great show. I guess you'd have to get permission or blur people out, though. I called it, though. That's a great idea. I'm going to have to talk to a few people about that. Let me talk to my people. You talk to your people. I'll get back to you with it. All right? Good. Taco Bell was disappointing today. Really upsetting. I went out to my car, wouldn't start. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. I have like a very short lunch. Usually I have an hour lunch because I work a long day. Even if I work an 8-hour day, I'm taking an hour lunch. That's tough work, man. For a person who I work probably about 12 hours a day. Let's face it. Then, about 10 minutes before I'm about to leave work, it starts snowing like crazy. I was like, fucking yes! I have been waiting for this. I am so excited right now. But the wind had been going for like the last 2 or 3 hours strong. Like I thought it was going to rip our front door off that strong. I was like, holy shit. I went outside. The cigarette butt holder things are knocked over and just like trees are just like bending. I'm like, shit, something's going down. Snow starts coming. I'm about ready to leave work. I'm fucking so excited to drive home in it and then to see how deep it is by the time I get home. I'm like, oh my God, this is the best right now. I love this. I feel alive. I get maybe halfway home. Everything just stops. There's a little bit of snow, a dusting at best on the grass, none on the streets. And the wind now the wind has picked up. You might be able to hear it on this, but on and off, it's pretty much died down at this point. But earlier, holy shit, the wind was like just It was scary. I thought maybe this is a winter derecho. Derecho. Look it up. Bad times. You can go back and watch. I did 2 videos with my camera, I believe, or my phone, a long time ago after the derecho. It's pretty interesting. Anywho, so right now, I don't know how it got up there, whether it climbed up a tree and jumped onto it, but one of our stray cats was on our front porch roof. I was like, Carol was just like, oh, I had to bring the Stella in from outside. She was on the roof. I'm like, what? Yeah, she was on the roof. I was just like, the porch roof? And she was like, yeah. I was like, oh my God. I thought maybe the wind might have carried her. I mean, she's nothing. She might weigh 2 or 3 pounds. All our furniture on our porch shifted from one side to halfway to the other side. That's much heavier than a cat. This cat, I could literally, if it was a ball, if I could convert the cat into a ball, I could throw it as far as I could possibly throw something. That's the perfect weight to throw is that cat. Not that I would ever throw a cat. What I'm saying is it would be very easy if the wind was able to pick up our furniture and move it or even slide it. It wouldn't surprise me to find that cat flying through the air. That's how, light versus heavy versus wind and no wind. It's all science. Science and technology. Science and technology for you and me. All across the galaxy, science. Science and technology for you and me, brothers and sisters. That was my day in a nutshell. So now we've got 3 stray cats in our house. We didn't bring the raccoon in because we didn't see it. God forbid, though, I'm pretty sure Cal would have left the door open until it came in. See, that's what love's about, man. Loving something about a person. So, I mean, not just that, but like knowing somebody well enough, like so well that like their traits and stuff almost rub off on you. Because there are things that she does that 10 years ago I'd have been like, oh, that's crazy, no. But now I'm like, yeah, that's how things go. And she made me this, but she didn't paint it, so she's fired. Yeah. She asked me to get baking soda and I can't remember what you call the other ingredient. Well, it makes that, and you can carve and do things in it, and it'll dry, and it's cool until it breaks because it's very, very fragile, like my heart and my soul. All right, 22 minutes of me a night is way more than enough. I really do apologize. I missed one. I think we might do a react video either tonight. I wanted to bring the kids in on it, but Carol won't let me. I don't think Resident Evil's that scary. I mean, that's how long ago? 20 years? Well, let me think. Probably almost 20 years old. Maybe a little bit older. I don't know. Well, happy Valentine's Day, friends. Thank you guys for always coming back. It means the world to me. It really does. I'm going to say it on here, too, just in case anybody who might be coming is a musician. On the night of the end of the road party, if you play an instrument, I encourage you to bring it. Now, we're not going to turn this into a jam session all night, but I thought, you know what? My friend Jim, he just got a, what is it? Banjolin? It's like a half banjo, half mandolin? Or is it half guitar, half banjo? I can't remember. And he got a mandolin, which is an electric mandolin, which is pretty sweet. I've been looking at mandolins recently. I went to all the pawn shops, and there were some, that started around $100, which I'm sure are the real bottom of the barrel that aren't going to be the ones I want to start with or to pick up. Never mind. If you're loving watching these as much as I'm loving making them, please subscribe and pass them along to anybody who you know who might like them. Share these out, like them, comment, give me something to talk about. We'll have a grand old time for 2 more weeks. There's still time, probably, if you binge watch, to get some new people. All right, watch all of these. Go ahead. Do your homework. Write it down. History, lessons, right there. Boom. Follow me on the social media. I forgot to try to see if I could get those buttons to work. I'm pretty sure I can now. But like I said, I'm just going to do an outro. Maybe I can just do... Wait for it. I can do a video... Did I? No. Yes. Yes, I can still do this. I'll just have to have this video on one layer, and the background video... No. I'd have to do it every night to make it work. That sucks. That's way too much work. Even, well, maybe not for you guys. I mean, it's not that hard. It's at GEYCEN. It's 6 letters. GEYCEN. Okay, I did count that right in my head real quickly. Well, okay. Don't forget to make somebody smile. You know, do your best to make a stranger laugh. Ha 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 ha. Lemon Grab was on last night's episode of, or 2 nights ago, Adventure Time. Check that show out. If you haven't watched it, it's getting really interesting because they're starting to let you in on a little bit of the history of Ooh. And they're really starting to implement, you know, the possible future or the end of Adventure Time or the planet of Ooh. Just seems really interesting. It's smart. There's a lot of shit that goes on behind the scenes, I think, in that show. They're trying to tell a story throughout the whole thing, I think. And I think it might be about the human race and where we came from and where we are now. Jesus Christ. Please stop me when I do that. Please. Make yourself a better person tomorrow than you were today. Let's make the world spin a little bit happier together, my brothers and sisters. Let's sing and dance in the sun and in the rain and in the snow as one. Live your life to the fullest and love every moment of it, because you just never know when the last moment's going to come. Don't be afraid of that. Don't live in fear. Live in love at all times, and it was worth it. Trust me. I think. Either that or I'll be wrong. I mean, there's worse ways to live. Let's face it. Take care of yourselves. Take care of one another, and take care of those around you who can't take care of themselves. There are people out there that legitimately can't take care of themselves and could use help. Or the people who are helping them could probably use help too. It's a messed up world we live in, folks. Things are just changing. Sometimes I think things are getting better. Sometimes I think they're getting worse. I don't know. There are some things that I believe are inevitable. I believe climate change is beyond the point, that we can do anything about it. I think it's too late. I really do. I mean, even if we all ceased and desist our activities, we've already done the damage, and I think a lot of it's irreversible. So, I mean, will the human race survive? I think if we find new forms of propulsion for our spacecraft, that is the only way. And for that matter, we need like 3, 4, 500,000 years of exploration just to find the next Earth. Well, it looks like, I mean, we're coming across them now, so I mean, I guess it can't hurt to go take a spin out there. You could do suicide fuel relay missions. What it would be is you'd send a ship out if you're going to stick with fuel. First of all, that's stupid. Let's look into black holes. Let's look into, I don't know, some other form of propulsion. Not fossil fuels. Not anything that we're using nowadays. Nothing nuclear. It's got to be beyond that. And we could go out as far as we could with an extra load of gas and leave it. And then just live until you die on that spacecraft. Which could be a while. Especially if when the next one arrives behind you, takes the fuel, already has an extra one, fills up, goes as far as it can go, leaves fuel at this coordinate, this destination. Although I would imagine with the moving universe, you know, eventually you'd lose track of it. You'd be like, it's not coming up on the radar. Yeah, the whole world just spun around. Or universe, I guess. Wow. Okay, let me call this now. Hang on a second. Hold up. Yo, hold up. I gotta go. Alright, you guys have a great night. I'll see you guys a little bit further on down the road to 40. Thanks for coming out.